Hey, welcome to another new year. We're hopping into 2025. Running, I guess. You got to move, people. If you're not feeling good, move your bodies. You'll feel better. Gets rid of anxiety, gets you out of breath as you're pushing 50, I guess. What's going on? Welcome. I'm Russ, and if you're going to take any financial advice from somebody that has an intro like that, I don't know what to say, but I am a blue collar welder, just like you guys, talking through catching my breath. How do they do that? When you see these exercise gurus and they're doing their exercises and talking, man, that's got to be a tough, difficult gig to do. So, um, Happy New Year, everybody. What did you do for New Year? What are you looking at buying in 2025? We're going to show you what one Eddie Elfenbein, fund manager of Crossing Wall Street, what he does. Every year he does this buy list, right? I think he's done it since 2006. He picks stocks at the end of January and doesn't change it. Only changes the portfolio one time a year. And we're going to go real quick, show you his additions, his subtractions. I don't think we have a method to his madness, but I have a link in the video description below. My God, I can't catch my breath. You know, I don't know if anyone's a fan of Seinfeld, but I once read an interview with Michael Richards, who played Kramer. Love Kramer. Yeah, Michael Richards had some not so good moments in the earlier part of this century, I guess. The millennium, the earlier part of this millennium. But yeah, he always said he never wanted to enter Jerry's apartment the same way. He tried to do it different every time. So I don't do it different every time, but I just had that thought, like, like, what can be different with this strange style of investing that we have here, as my work clothes are done in the dryer. So shout out to Samsung and all the people that built the dryer that we bought about a year ago. And then we'll talk about, I don't know, whatever you guys want to talk about. You can throw stuff in the chat to look at. Shout out for all of you that were in Chris, right? Chris, you're a mod, they call you, on Ryan's. I popped into Ryan's live stream while I was editing on Friday evening. And first of all, I gotta say, I don't know what it says about individuals, investing styles, but I noticed for the first time Friday evening that Mr. Ryan Williams takes his drawstrings from his hooded sweatshirts and ties them in a bow. Look at mine. Gone. I cut them mofos out. Garbage. I don't know. I always think, when am I ever going to need to pull my hood and pull it tight and look like Cornholio? I can't think of a scenario. So whenever I put my hood up, it's just up. It doesn't need to be drawstringed, Maybe if I'm falling out of an airplane, I don't know. But either way, so now we're all caught up on the hoodie stylings of certain financial YouTubers, because that's the kind of information that you want to know on a Sunday evening, right? That's why you come here. So yeah, good one. I always want to say your name because you email me, my friend. We'll just call you WTF. Yeah, first of all, very interesting that his name just skipped my mind. It's not Ramas. No, I can't. Vivek? No. Oh my God. Somebody put it in the chat. What is our Surgeon General's name? Hey, I'm still on C. Everett Koop as the Surgeon General, right? Yeah, there's 9 different kinds of potential cancers that you can get from drinking alcohol. Who knew alcohol is bad for you? What? I didn't know alcohol was bad for you. But yes, I think if you go way over, and I know they said 1 or less drinks a day, but honestly, I don't know. I enjoy it. I cut way back. Yours truly, up until a couple of years ago, used to have usually 2 beers a night, 2 light beers, most nights. Some nights Guinness, Guinness is a lighter beer, also made by Diageo, which has been clobbered by this news. But I cut back. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's a couple beers each of those nights. And anyway, so that is going to affect the alcohol stocks, right? You got Budweiser, you've got Heineken. We just talked about Diageo. What's the other big one? AB InBev, right? They're all going to be, um, yeah, Shamir, I know, but it's my team. This is my one team that I've always been with, and we're for life, I guess. Hey, we made it through some controversy, a little bit of an ugly period after the cup, but if you know, you know, Shamira. We won't get into it because it's no fun, and yeah, involving a minor league prospect that I actually went to Rockford to watch play when he was a rookie, but. Diageo moves good for B Hall. I don't think it's Brees Hall. If it is, what's up, man? Thank you for all the points you've given me. But Diageo moves are good for puts. Earnings are in 125. Hey, if you got puts on Diageo, but I can't imagine the premiums are really juicy, right? So, by the way, I wanted to say hello to all you. I think I just started flapping my gums here, but Steve, Shannon, Alan, Jim, Pat, go Lions. Let's see. I'm pulling for them. Matt, you're also one of Ryan's moderators, right? Anyway, you can look into Next Era Energy and Simply Safe. Yeah, we can peek at Next Era Energy real quick. I think from what we've looked before is that they're solid, but we'll look again for you, and I'll write you on my list here, Matt. And by the way, thanks to everybody that swung by last week. My wife was on the live. If you missed it, just click on the live portion of the channel, which we have a new channel banner, by the way. I am the blue collar millionaire, asterisk, 82% of the way there. If you're good and better in math than I am, you can probably figure out pretty quickly. I'll just say I did a conservative guess. Well, it's not a guess. I know what our net worth is pretty closely right now, but I knocked some off just to be conservative on that. By the way, Lisa, Chris, I know I've talked to you. Shamir, always nice to see you, my man. Have you ever made it to Chicago to go to the 007 exhibit at the Museum of Science and Industry? Ray, if I've missed anybody, I'm not going to pull a Kevin and spend 5 minutes on everybody, although I would love to. We can't do that because my time with you is precious. And we want to get to what's going on with you. Dude, I get as much from you guys as I give to you, I hope. I love hearing your thoughts. Whiskey Tango, man, shout out. You're the one that corrected me on holding Enterprise Products Partners in tax-advantaged accounts because it's already tax-advantaged. So it's a redundancy, and there's really no benefit to holding it, but you do get a benefit when you have it inside of a taxable account. Master limited partnerships like Enterprise Products Partners. All right, there we are. Now I'm caught back to where you guys were. Ah, nice. Yeah. Well, there you go. Maybe that was burned in my brain somewhere, but they always got in the way. So when you see me wear hoodies next time, go watch one of Lions. It's not a good. What, the Detroit Lions? We got Lion. I was thinking Lion Ryan. That's awful. I hope you're not watching, Ryan. That's yeah. And Matt, I see your comment about you being the mod and all the trolls. I didn't know what was going on. I popped in and I'm hearing Ryan go like, get him, Matt, get him. I honestly was confused. And then he said, I'm going to turn off the chat for a minute. It's really getting too much, but hey, I guess that's more money, more problems, right? Figuratively and literally, because was that someone helped me with my 90s hip hop? Was that Jay-Z with the mo money, mo problems? And from what I understand, he's got some big problems right now. So the mo money, that was a portent of the future of him and his problems. So more subscribers, more problems, I guess is how we could say that for Mr. Anyway, so they cut the drawstrings off your hoodies in construction for safety. Yeah, I mean, you want to get wrapped around, pulled into a saw or something like that. You're still struggling to figure out a good value point for IIPR. Man, at this point, I really don't know. I've listened to some things. Invest Talk, if you guys listen to that, they did cover it, and they brought up a good point where they said, look, they still own the assets, they still own the property, so now it's going to be, can they get tenants in there? But can they get tenants to pay the same amount? Because I feel a sneeze coming on. We're going to fight it off, everybody. But what IIPR does is they were acting, I heard, as like a marijuana bank, a cannabis bank, meaning that IIPR, they had cash and they would do a sale leaseback, which in a nutshell is when a company owns property, they would buy the property and then immediately sign them to a long-term lease. And from what I understand, they did it at very high rates of square footage that you don't see anywhere else. And that's helping the company because they were infusing them with cash. And it was almost like they were paying back this cash infusion from the sale with higher rent per square foot. And the risk always was, from what I understand, is if the tenants couldn't pay it, if they went belly up, if they went through the old, jingle mail, they mailed in the keys, that IIPR might have trouble getting in a new tenant to pay that much money per square foot because they could just find it somewhere else cheaper. And as the lending restrictions become looser, that could be an issue too with their tenants. Just, I don't know if they'd have to break contract or what, but either way, there was way too much uncertainty for me, and that's why I really started selling out. But good, very well run company, great management team from what I understand, but they're having problems with the tenants. And if you're a landlord, you can be Warren Buffett, but if you have tenants that can't pay their rent, it's kind of out of his hands, So anyway, it could be good here. I think the 60s, low 60s. I mean, yeah. Alan, well, you know what? I'll tell you, man. I just did Rollins. So look at the last video. You don't even have to watch it. The video I put out on yesterday morning, Saturday. My God, it's been a long weekend. I've had volleyball for 2 morning and afternoons and then bowling today. Anyway. Yeah, look at the video where I did the full year income and just I put a timestamp for the top stock on my buy list, and I did a bit on Rollins there, so it'd be a little bit repetitive. So over there, and then Chris, you sold British American tobacco and put that money into Visa. Oh, dude, you did something like I did. I sold Altria and put that money into Visa in the 260s, 270s, which to me felt high, but now that almost feels like a back up the truck one. Kevin, thank you for that. I am freshly bathed and shaven, and here with you. So we try to look dapper. I don't know. I guess I don't have. I got my tea. Is what I got. I don't have a hat like you do. I know, dude, I say it out of love. I say you're the Indiana Burgess because of that hat. It reminds me of Indiana Jones. I'm not brave enough to wear a hat like that, but it fits you. It wouldn't look fitting on me. This hairstyle I have that the 1930s to 1950s called and said they want back, right? All right. His finger was stuck in the mug. How did he die? He got his finger stuck in the mug. Shamir, you weren't able to make it. Oh, all right, here we go. We got 50 people in. Another minute and a half, and we're going to show you Crossing Wall Street. Link to that below if you wanted to look. We'll go through that real quick. Yeah, Adam, what's up, man? Good luck in 2025. We'll be out in Vegas later this year in October for the When We Are Young festival. It's shade with love, I guess. Shade with care, right? All right, let's see. Utilities, ETR. Mr. J, we'll look up that when we get a minute here. Mr. J, what was that? ETR. Are you sure it's not WTR? I think you might. Isn't that what it is? No, that was AWK. We'll look up ETR. All right, so we are going to, because I'm just about caught up. Oh, Ryan needed, dude, Marcus, that's awesome. Digital bouncers. Why didn't I think of that? You are smarter than I, sir. Biggie Smalls did the Mo Money Pro Problems. Was that Biggie Smalls? See, it was never my scene, right? You guys know I'm a punk rocker, hair metal, heavy metal, not really death metal. I just didn't get in. I don't know. I like sing. I need melody. There's no melody in death metal or hardcore punk. So stuff like Bad Religion. I need melody, no effects. Melody, face to face. North of the Border. For those of you that might remember, a band called Killer Dwarves. melody, and their singer's name is Russ too. So God bless it. Hello, hello, Charles. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up for me. Again, I'm pretty hip hop illiterate, but not so much in the '90s. Like '90s hip hop, today I'm completely lost. Completely lost. All right, there we go. We are live. Yeah, or I'm caught up with you. Of course, we're live. Duh. It says live right there. Alan, yeah, the video I put out yesterday, literally just click on it and click the timestamp. You don't need to watch any of the goofiness. like when I don't know. I just threw that part in there. It's something that probably I only find funny about being paid in cash with a gun on the table. Which I did steal that. I stole that from Maria Bamford, but come on, she didn't create it. The comedian. Anyway, all right, let's go. You guys are here. I see people dropping out. They're like, dude, all this guy does is talk. So we will suspend the talking. Hello, Bernard, and go to crossingwallstreet.com. And this is Eddie Elfenbein's list. I need to make you guys get more real estate. Yeah. There we go. That's a little better. And what do I want to do here? I'm going to make this a little bigger. And I think you guys can still read it there, right? I'm not obscuring anything. I think that should be good. Okay, so this is your guide to financial success, hosted by Eddie Elfenbein. Again, this is the buy list that he does every year. And if you scroll to the bottom, he will give you a year-by-year historical performance. And I went to 2024 already. He's very, very transparent about it. So since he's been doing this since 2006, the 19-year compounded gain has been 657% compared to 584% for the S&P 500. Very, very nice. So in 2024, it was a down year, and he gives a little recap of what happened, and he'll show what he owned there. So if you wanted to compare and contrast, I wrote down what was in and what was out. So for brevity's sake, what he sold and what he moved out of from this fund, which is also an ETF. I don't remember the ticker. If somebody wants to Google the Crossing Wall Street ETF, you can put it in there, and then you could invest in this all in one shot. But Aflac is out, Celanese, ticker CE, Federal Agricultural Mortgage, ticker AGM, which I think is Farmer Mac. Hershey, ticker HSY, he moved out of, and Polaris, PII. So now we'll go back to, oh shit, I didn't show you guys that. Here, let me do this again. Here, I have to share this tab and it's going to work. So this is the 2024 recap. He does the recap and then he puts out the new ones, but this is what I was showing. I had zoomed in on this, and I know, is that the first time I swore here? So he shows the portfolio before, and then he'll put any notes, and then the adjusted start and gain for dividends, gains with dividends. So knock yourself out. You can look at all that. But here we are with the main 2025 stocks for Eddie Elfenbein. And I find this interesting when I go up, and you can read, but he keeps it. It's good for idea generation. He has a one sentence put here about it, but I'll just read the ones that are new. These are the ones that are new on his list for 2025. There's Adobe, ticker ADBE, which is one of the largest and most diversified software companies in the world. It's known for brands such as Acrobat, Photoshop, and Adobe Document Cloud. And in this buy below, it's interesting. So he'll say buy it below $480, his opinion. And the current price, $430.57. Second, Allison Transmission, ticker ALSN. This is one that I've had on our radar, which is the world's largest global manufacturer of medium and heavy-duty fully automatic transmissions. Buy below $115. Next up, we have HEI, Heiko. Heiko is a niche business that makes replacement parts for the airline industry. And there is an investor I can't think of right now who is big into Heiko. Ticker HEI, but he says buy below 270 and it's at 238 right now. A couple more new ones here. Henry Schein, which is Shein? Shine. One-stop shop for healthcare services and products with a focus on dental supplies and equipment plus veterinary products. He says buy below 75 and it's at 69. So I found this interesting, this list of his. He also has, where is it? Oh, IESC, 3 in a row. IES Holdings. So they do infrastructure services. They design and install integrated electrical and blah, blah, blah. So he says buy that one below 220. It's over. And then we have one more, which is MCI. And I wrote this down. MLI, Mueller Industries, I believe. Which is a leading manufacturer of copper, brass, aluminum, and plastic products. Buy below 85. So there you go. Interesting list. If you're looking for ideas, you want to research something, there you go. That's Eddie Elfenbein's Crossing Wall Street. And again, I have a list down below. So I'll wrap at you for a second here, and then we'll do the news. I know, Steve, you'll be on it if we don't do the news. This is the most beautiful mug I've ever seen. You know why it's the most beautiful mug I've ever seen? Because my daughter made it in grade school. Funny how that is. Yeah, it's weird. Did I make this mug then? Can you look at it like that? Because I made a human being, and that human being made this mug, and if I didn't make them, this might not have been made? I don't know. Not the time or place for those kinds of discussions, Uncle Russ. Got it. Yeah, we'll look up ETR. I'm not familiar with ETR. Asked about it. What did I ask about, Jim? Now I forget. Yeah, it's funny. Thanks, Charles. Rollin, it's on the seat of it. It is. That's right. It's still on there, isn't it? Yeah, and he has buy under 50. Yeah. The owner of Orkin Rollins is one of the leading pest control companies. So he likes to see buying it under 50, and it's at 46.17. So it is one of the CWS buys. Yeah, Matt. I still want Rollins closer to 40. I know Morningstar, because I just did this, they have a fair value of, we can look on Alpha Spread of 37. It's at 46 now. Let's do this. I'll do news. I'll pop on Alpha Spread. Let's see what Alpha Spread gives Rollins. I probably should have included that in the video, but we didn't. Yeah, it's just a solid business. It's something that's in my neck of the woods. It's in my industry. I work at a lot of food places, food distribution facilities, and they're real tight. They're real paranoid about having access to the outside sealed, anything perimeter seals. And they have to, because if the FDA has a visit, the FDA, they do regular audits, but if they do a surprise audit, they get fined, these companies. So they have to keep up on their records. They have to keep up on, it's like I don't know how to describe it, but sometimes they hire low wage people, brutal with the equipment. They have like 3-inch brush weather stripping that goes on the outside perimeters of doors and loading dock equipment, and they just don't care. Like, this stuff gets good for our line of work, just gets torn off, mangled, and it's not cheap. But hey, anyway, the point about that is pest control is always going to be necessary. That's something that AI is not going to replace, unless AI, I guess, figures out a way to eliminate rodents and insects and all those things that want to get inside and eat the food that we have. But what would that do? That's an interesting thought, right? Anyway, here we go. Rabbit holes. If we eliminated right now, we waved a magic wand and every rodent was gone, what would that do? Is the capybara? Is that a rodent? I don't know. What's up, Dividend dude? What's up? Dan? What's going on? Dan the man. Okay, so yeah. All right, Mr. J. A little bit too deep for this program, right? People just want to know about some stocks, what to buy. Not me pontificating if, in a way, because my daughter made a mug, did I actually make the mug, unconsciously or something. Either way. It's like Inception stuff, right? People like, and goodbye. It's easier to click off. But all right, what we're doing, news, and then Rollins on Alpha Spread. Not a lot of news, though, by the way. Not a lot of news. And Actually, I think there was just one. Oh, hold on. It'd be better if I showed you, right? Show me, don't tell me. Wasn't that a Rush song? Or was that a song or an album by Rush? Welcome, everybody. We're going to talk Rush. Yeah, the 23rd, we had IIPR down here. Yeah, we already covered IIPR. They got their dividend downgraded. We talked about that. Why is it not sharing this? Oh, there it goes. My phone's behind. Yeah, Xerox reduced their dividend. Remember we talked about what? Xerox is still around. This is the only one. CVS dividend downgrade from 70 to 60, and it's because of the pharmacy benefit managers and, you know, new administration coming in. Everybody's worried. Everybody's nervous. Plus, let's see. Here you go. If anybody, I know some of you invest in CVS, so this will be the part of the program that, yeah, I'm sharing this tab now, right? Okay, good. This will be the part of the program where anybody that's watching, go ahead and you can pause the video, but they were just tell about PBMs, how, yeah, they're the middlemen in drug pricing. And if there's bipartisan support, they could be shaken up. So CVS could divest its PBM division, which contributes between 20 and 40% of its profits. So then the payout ratio could jump as much as 75% on the earnings payout ratio. They also have a new CEO who's trying to turn around the business. Also, they have a Aetna health insurance business, which we know there's issues going on with health insurers, which we got transferred over to United Health. So it's a lot of people not happy about that because some of the doctors are not in network, don't take United Health. But anyway, so yeah, if you're interested in CVS, you can pause the video and maybe this will help give you a different way of thinking about things from Simply Safe Dividends there. But so that was all the news. And let me punch in Alpha Spread here. Bring you here to Alpha Spread. I think I got a free one left for good old Rollins. Why ain't you coming up? R-O-L-L-I-N-S. Come on. There we go. And Rollins. Yikes. Well, boys and girls, if this is to be believed, or if you think this is accurate, then on a base case, Alpha Spread thinks Rollins has an intrinsic value of $25. And on the worst case, they're going with $19.43. Yeah, I get it. They have their own proprietary way of figuring out. This is an interesting site, alphaspread.com. They give a few away, I think 3. Jim, you use them, right? The free version, 3 a week, where you can check out about them. But yeah, this is a site we've used off and on, Alpha Spread. So yeah, there's their revenue breakdown. It's an interesting site. Balance. Yeah, they have very little net debt. Look at this. They have $445 million of net debt on what? They don't have a market cap, but $2.8 billion of assets. So, I mean, you love to see that. How much cash do they have? Here, they have $95 million of cash and short-term investments. So, you know, it doesn't cover the long-term debt, but yeah, just a very, very healthy balance sheet. So, I guess, I don't know. Anyway, Rollins, there you go. Potentially almost 50% overvalued. And some analysts here, the lowest, but look at this, the lowest Wall Street target is 38.61 and the highest. So yeah, take this with a grain of salt. And I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen. Oh, they even give a dividend safety score now. This is new. I guess I haven't been on this in a minute. So there you go. Alpha Spread is trying to be more all-encompassing and compete with Simply Safe Dividends, I guess. Anyway, all right, enough of that. I need to look up 2 things here for you guys. For our friend Matt. Matt, we'll just look up. I think we've talked about NextEra before. I know they get a very high safety rating. Yeah, 90, very safe. And I think we've skimmed through this before for NextEra Energy. And this wasn't the one that was Florida Power and Light, was it? Oh yeah, founded in 1984 as Florida Power and Light. They changed their name in 2010 to better represent its aggressive push into renewable power. So that's one of the things then, this is ringing a bell, renewable power. All the Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, right? What are they buying? They're all looking to buy nuclear power plants. Nuclear. They're all looking to buy, because renewable power, it ain't cutting it. Not like nuclear does. So nuclear. But yeah, and then in September of 23, they actually had a note that they're anticipating slowdowns in renewable asset sales. So it's solid, but that's one thing you have to keep in mind. They've grown that dividend for that all on one sheet. They've grown that dividend for 28 years for NextEra Energy, but you have to wonder, is renewable really going to be the future, or is it nuclear? Or is there some variation between, or is it going to be like the SMRs, right? The small modular reactors. Are we going to have those on every block or on farms? I don't know. But anyway, they think it's undervalued. Simply Safe does. But I think there's some skepticism about that. And yeah, earnings payout ratio is low. We look at them for utilities, earnings payout ratio. But there you go, Matt. If you want to pause, I know I'm going quick here because I want to get to everybody. I love chatting with you guys. I spend enough time in my staring at all this, but I like sharing it with all of you. And yeah, they're just okay. They're a utility. They're a utility that's trying to find different ways, alternative power, renewable power. So there you go. And then we were going to look up, what was it for you, Mr. J. Ortiz, ETR? Get those trolls if they're in there. I don't know. I guess I could put them in if we get the one weird one. So it's another electric utility, 77 safe. So Mr. J. Ortiz, I'll let you. I'm just going to skim this right quick. See if there's anything here that 9 years of dividend growth, 24 years uninterrupted. But yeah, well, that's the dividend growth. 5% 20-year CAGR. They raised it 6% in October. Payment details every quarter, $2.40 a share. Simply Safe, based on their 5-year average dividend yield, they think that they're overvalued. So if you're into dividend regression to the mean theory, I guess. Yeah, so that dividend yield is way below the 5-year average. So yeah, anyway, it looks like it could be a little expensive right now, but looks like a solid company. This is the first time I've ever looked at them. 69% earnings payout ratio. So a touch higher than it had been in 2019. But yeah, it's just negative sales growth as of late. A little bit of share dilution. Yeah, total sales. I guess you'd rather see this up and to the right where it looks flat. 12.5 billion in 2014 and it's 11.9 billion. So it's pretty flat, but I guess you're buying it for the stability, right? You're not buying this for growth. So there you go. That's what was the name of this again? I already forgot. What's their debt? Net debt is a little bit high. But anyway, this was ETR. I guess that's just what they're called. What does it stand for? Nothing, just ETR. Founded in 1913, headquartered in New Orleans. Yeah, that sucks about New Orleans, right? God, I hate that. I hate that. All right, now I'm back. I'm back with all of you. Sorry. I don't know. I can't see the chat when I'm doing that, and it's probably best for the best. But yeah, Polaris was on the CW Crossing Wall Street list. Wonder if Simply Safe likes it. Polaris, I'm not going to share it. I'll just give you the score, see what they think. But they give 70 safe, but that yield is 4.56%. So almost a 5% yield. It's at a 52-week low for Polaris. Yeah, they make, right? The, I can't think of their name, snowmobiles. And they raise that about 4 cents a year. So a penny per quarter. But, I don't know. It's not for me. I've looked at it before. It's just not for me. Wait, Love Me, Don't Rush Me, Taylor Dane. I only know Tell It to My Heart by Taylor Dane. Great song, by the way. I did make the engineer of the mug. I love it. Pre-alpha spread base case for Rollins 25. Yep. Yep. Ah, Jim, look at you burned it and you didn't have to. I'm so sorry, man. You saved this time, but South Korea hammered by silly and St. Paul. Yeah, what happened with that? Martial law for like a day? Alpha spread is a good place, says Matt. Yeah, you're welcome for Next Era Energy. Utilities, no matter which, get hammered with rising rates, just like REITs. Yeah, it's going to make their cost of business more expensive, and they're very capital intensive, right? So that money's got to come from somewhere. So they're either going to borrow money or they're going to dilute the shareholder, a little of both, I suppose. Yeah, I guess. I still don't know. That's one thing that personally has always thrown me off about Next Era Energy is the nature of them wanting to be renewable, like a lot of solar, a lot of wind. When I look at their information and what they have on their website, like you'll see like a football field full of solar panels, and I just keep thinking, is that going to power today's just energy hungry world? And it's only getting more so. I mean, now you've got, I can only imagine how the AI, generative AI, how it just devours power. But quantum computing is coming. That has to be devouring power too, right? I don't know. So what do I know? Hey, I listened to Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger on Bitcoin where they said that Charlie said it was rat poison. Warren's exact words were this will end badly for Bitcoin. And it just goes to show. Warren doesn't know everything. Charlie doesn't know. They knew a hell of a lot more than I probably ever will, but the fact is they just don't know everything and you can't blindly follow them. And one thing I learned is when Warren would say, I don't invest in this because I don't understand it, it doesn't mean you shouldn't invest in it. It just means that he won't because he doesn't. So Polaris expensive toys heading into a recession. Yeah, good one, man. And it could be as simple as that. Who's buying snowmobiles? And I don't know. I'm assuming they make jet skis too, right? Alpha Spread says unsafe for PII. Yeah. And again, so Steve, right? Myself included, all these nobody knows. Nobody knows the future. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So I don't know. I do know that I don't want to be in the future as much. That's the Buddhists say that, right? That you want to be, how do they say it? If you're feeling depressed, you're living in the past. If you're feeling anxious, you're living in the future. But if you're at peace, you're living in the present. And a lot of times we get focused on rewards and the rewards that are going to be after something. And we're just focused on that reward and we're in the future. So we're feeling anxious about it instead of just thinking like, just be present. Just be in this present moment like I am right here with you. How does that tie to investing? Well, it does because we don't know what's going to happen. Seeking Alpha, Alpha Spread, Simply Safe Dividends, every analyst, Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, Eddie Elfenbein, you, me, none of us know exactly what's going to happen, right? Because there are just billions and billions and billions of possibilities available to every person on the planet every second of the day. And we know humans are emotional, right? I'm reading the Hetty Green book, and in 1874, after the 1873 financial crisis and panic, the New York Times was opining, and they said, as long as human beings are involved in the stock market because of their fear and greed and they panic, we're always going to have these things. So that's what's going to happen. Thoughts on the Discover and Capital One merger? I don't know too much about it, but maybe they're just trying to consolidate to stay competitive, stay afloat. But, they're not, they do a little of both, right? So no, Capital One is just a bank because I'm thinking we have a Capital One card and it's Visa. So Visa's the payment processor, but I don't know, would you call that vertically integrated like an Amex where Amex they're the bank, they're the lender in the the financial institution. Yeah, that's what I would think, that they can control Sorry, I was reading your comment, Troy. So anyway, Amex keeps everything in house, right? So they process the payment, they lend the money, they collect the interest, but then they also have. Uh, so I guess that thinking through it like that, Jay Ortiz, if we are headed toward a recession, we would need to look at credit card default. Are those on the rise? Because those are the financial institutions, right? Discover and Capital One, which I think Discover is also, they do the payment, right? Because we see a Discover card. I think. I guess I've never dug deep into Discover, but there would be risk for defaults, and that could be a headwind to their business. Where at least with Visa and MasterCard, if credit card transactions are down, they would be processing less payments. But Frank says the NEE dilutes heavily and it makes you sad. Well, but that's where money's coming from to grow the business, almost like a REIT. So, and you just answered, I just answered what you said right there. Dude, Troy Destroy. I called you that, remember when we did our chat? The was that Watsco? Want to know why the B class shares have done so much better than the regular shares? Honestly, I don't know if there are. Maybe it has to do with the shares outstanding, because all that it is the A and the B is the voting class, right? So there could be here. Let me just see. So Watsco Trading Company. They let's see the shares outstanding. Well, I'll bring you with this. Why don't I bring you with on this journey here, everybody? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I'll bring you with to check this out. So here's Watsco, and I did see when I punched it in there was the B shares, trading company and distributor. Yeah, if they're a distributor, that doesn't sound like something that could have a very big. Maybe they could have a big. Wait. Replacement parts such as compressors and motors, supplies like thermostats, refrigerants, and ductwork. But let's see, I just wanted to see the good dividend growth. Looks like they're getting ready for another dividend raise. Simply Safe thinks they are overvalued. But what I'm looking for is, here we go. What I want to see is the shares outstanding. So actually they dilute quite on the reg. That's interesting. So let's see the 52-week price range. It's right smack dab in the middle at 475. But if we go to the B, WSO B shares, dividend is unrated, 2.25 yield. What was the other one? The yield on 2.27, so 2.20. So the dividend yield's the same. Sorry, no, I'm all the way over here. Everything looks pretty much the same. So I see shares out. Yeah, it's still the same. So, I mean, I honestly don't know why. Let's see, where's the price? They don't have the, of course, 475. Are you sure, Troy? So it looks like the prices, they're both 475, like a penny difference. I don't know, man. That's a good one. If anybody has any insight, please do share. Done so much better. I don't know, man. It doesn't look like, it looks like they're the same price. So I don't like the dilution though. I don't know why they keep diluting when they're a trading company like that. Distributor. There's Slam. There's Slam from down under. What am I looking at adding this year in a big way, James? I'd like to start a position in Rollins around $40 a share, but Nike, I've been buying Nike up to 70 or 71 shares. And that I want to get to 100. That I'm going to use for income because I don't think the stock price is going to take off anything crazy, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's get to the 100 first, and then I can decide on selling pretty far out of the money, covered calls to get a little bit more cash rolling in the door. But Visa, I still want to buy a lot of Visa. It just shot up right after Trump won re-election. The market took off, Visa took off. So those are the big ones. I'd really like to add a lot more Visa and probably building out VTI still. Just more dribbling in more shares of VTI to get a nice base. As Shifu. Isn't that from Master Shifu, right? That's from Kung Fu Panda. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift, which is why they call it the present. I love that, man. Yeah, I don't mean to get too philosophical, but hey, this is the beauty of the live stream because, when you see the edited videos, it's okay for disseminating information, but it's really hard to have, at least for me, to have an in-depth conversation and to engage with all of you. Like when Adam says homelessness is on the rise. Hey, I don't know. How do you take care of it? Maybe I don't know, man. Maybe make the ultra wealthy pay another percentage point or two in tax. I don't know. I'm open to ideas, but you can't soak the rich too much because then you're going to they'll leave. They'll take their ball and go home. Oh, my next CEO interview. Pat, when I could get one, so Travis and I might be doing something where we have like a podcast together. We've been talking about it, obviously recording the video, but yeah, he was my hookup for Joey Agree, and Joey was willing to do it. So actually, I will be talking. He's not a CEO, but there's a viewer, Jonathan Glazer. He's been investing for 50 years, so I'm going to talk with him tomorrow, and I just want to get some of his insights, lessons he's learned, what he would do differently. Just share with us some of his wisdom and knowledge that he's accumulated over 50 years. Yeah, Troy, I didn't see where the performance. How do you mean performance? Because it looks like they have the same dividend yield and they have the same share price. So unless there's something I'm missing, I'm just not seeing it. Golden Utility Company out there, ED, which is Con Ed. Yeah, I don't know. Duke Energy, maybe. I sold out of them. Oh, by the way, Lisa, I don't even know if I said hello. I see you. I see you. Thank you. My average cost basis of Nike and V. So here, I'll show you. Let's do this, Matt. Great question. Well, bring you over to do a little. Where's Craig when I need him for my dividend yield porn, right? So obviously we've done some selling, but I'm paying back $250 a week now till we pay all that money back from selling the J&J. And so this is the combined portfolio. Yeah, annual income is now 5,300. So we lost a little bit there, lost about $1,000. But again, and this is not like my whole net worth. This is 3 portfolios we share. And let me hide myself here because it's gonna, God dang it. Wrong thing. Hold on. Hold on. This is the beauty of being live. I want to not have myself when we do this. Here we go. This is what I want to do. Okay. So this is the portfolio. Portfolio. And you wanted to know the cost basis of Visa and Nike. Let's sort it by how about percentage of portfolio? How about annual income? There we go. We'll sort by that. Look at that. Nextstar's number 1 with a way at the top. They think they're overvalued too at 160 or 160. Yeah, I'm up 1.4%. But yeah, you could pause this if you're a nut and you want to look at this. All the holdings we share in the channel. So yeah, it's Simply Safe. It's really nice how they do this when you hook your broker in. Here we go, Nike. So Nike, I am at, no, that's what I wanted to do. Currently 69 shares. I thought I had 70. I guess I'm a liar. $76.72. So I feel comfortable buying Nike in the mid to low 70s. So I'm going to be buying a lot more here. 31 shares to go until we get to my first target. So we're down 4.4%. Want to hold this for 3 to 5 years minimum because we don't want to be traders. We want to be long-term investors unless something unforeseen comes up and we have to sell. And then Visa, 45 shares of Visa, $314 is the current price. My cost basis $269.59. So we're up 17% on Visa. But yeah, only $106 a year from Visa. So those are the cost bases. There, Matt. BYDDY. Is that Boyd? Is that Boyd? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I see Elisa with the VTI. BY. DDY, man. Well, look. I stuffed up nose. You hear it? I was fine. Maybe it's, I don't know. We got carpeting. It's weird. People like, you got carpeting still? Or it could just be the time of year. Yeah, boy, this was Charlie's thing. 1.47% dividend yield. I'm sure this is an 8. Yeah, it's an ADR. That's what the Y means, right? This usually means it's ADR, American Depository Receipt. So you're going to pay for the privilege. You're going to pay some holding bank for the privilege of that. But yeah, Boyd Company. I think they're the largest EV company. Right? Holy cripes. Look at that dividend growth. It's currently, what is that? 3 yen? Or, I'm sorry. I can read. Chinese, I can never say this. Renminbi. Yes. Yeah, so they do pay that dividend. Let's see their payout ratio. Oh my God, 24% free cash flow payout ratio. Super low. And I have not done any due diligence on this company. So just from what I see here, although free cash flow per share has been declining. So since 23, something to keep an eye on, even though earnings per share is going up. And it's, do you trust China? Do you trust their accounting? I mean, that's foreign country risk. Yeah, total sales just screaming upward. Yeesh. Nice return on invested capital. But again, I don't know. This shows there's no net debt. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about them, but there you go. Those are the numbers. Yeah, VTI, great. Great for just a set it, forget it. How hard it is to beat the total investable U.S. stock market over many, many years. What price will I add V? Yeah, Sam, I guess now I probably should add here. But I just would feel more comfortable in the 280s and below. Will it get there? I really don't know. Wait, Dex, some more insider buying. It wasn't a CEO buy. There he is, dude. Sorry about your, did your Eagles win? I don't know. Yeah. What, you could go to CEO. I'll show you guys. If you don't know, now you will. But CEO buys, it'll be here. I think it's a dash. Yeah, CEO-buys.com. Now you can put in the company or, well, they want your money. So they're trying to get you to say, hey, as soon as a CEO buys their own stock, it's a pretty good sign that they have faith that the stock is undervalued and it might go up. So they try and sell you on it. But if you keep scrolling down, you can go browse all buys and it will show you the most current buys. Now, yeah, it's more manual, labor intensive, but you can just scroll down and look for a company you like or when you don't, or see what CEOs. And the thing about this is, as they say, they only show you when CEOs buy shares at market price. There's no bonuses, no stock options, and no gifts. But you can also search, and we'll look up ADC here. And yeah, so this is when I bought with Joey Agree. It shows the last one was, so it could have been an executive, so I'm guessing. But he bought at 56.92 10 months ago. And I followed suit. I started buying with him, and 6 months return has been 27.78%. And then if you click this blue area at the end of each box, it will bring you to the Form 4, the SEC filing from sec.gov. So you can knock yourself out, nerd out all you want about that, and look through those. Oof. Yeah. So there you go. I couldn't find it. Yeah, buddy. Yield porn. That's you, man. I love it. Hey, when is we're gonna have to have a spectacular again, a big live stream for when SCHD does its reconstitution. It's in February, right? Or was it March? I think it's mid-February coming up. Yeah, WTF, you're waiting for Nike at 70 or in the 60s. I honestly hope it'll get there, right? For any new investor, anybody that's a newer investor or has a long time horizon, we should want cheaper stock prices on great companies, because the cheaper we can buy it, the higher the total return potential, it's only going to be beneficial for your future brokerage and bank account and self. So I would be just fine buying it in the 60s. They're not going anywhere. I know some people like, I don't see Nikes, dude. I was at a 2-day volleyball tournament, and believe me, I was looking and looking hard. A lot of Dunk Lows, a couple Air Jordans, a lot of Converse. Converse, remember, Nike bought Converse. But yeah, just a lot of color coordinated Dunk Lows. But they're going to start refocusing on the athletes, which is their bread and butter. John Donahoe, I don't think was a good fit. He was too tech focused. I think he was, I could be wrong. I think he was CEO of PayPal and another like tech company. Complete industry outsider. Had no knowledge of running a shoe company, but from what I've read. But Elliott Hill grew up at Nike, 32 years with the business. Like he said, he has an irrational love for Nike, for the brand. So, which by the way, on Netflix, God dang this nose. We're almost done here, but he, Adidas, right? Adidas, as they call it in Europe. So Adolf Dassler, his nickname was Adi, A-D-I, 3 first letters of his last name, Dassler, Adidas, Adi Dassler, Adidas. But yeah, anyway, his brother, they had the Dassler Brothers Shoe Company, I think in the 20s and 30s. They had a bitter argument. They broke up. They broke the business in two, and one half became Adidas, and the other half became Ruda, which Rudy Dassler, Rudolph Dassler. His nickname was Ruda. Called it eventually Puma. So that became Puma. Hated each other. Bitter rivalry between the two companies. From what I understand, it divided the town in two. Like you couldn't work at one. It was just a crazy thing. And they ended up, when they died, they're buried at complete opposite ends of the cemetery. So there was always a big rivalry between Adidas, which I guess they call Adidas, and Puma. Anyway, there's a little bit of your more Nike. I don't know, what does it have to do with Nike? Well, Nike wanted to beat out Puma or Adidas, I think. I forget which one, but they did it. They're still the biggest. They are still the global leader in athletic performance equipment or branding, I guess. Yeah, it might with Uber, but I wonder, is competition coming? I don't know. We'd have to think about that. Maybe on another program, since we're getting close. We're getting close, and doing the same thing with Nike and Pep. Yeah, Pep. By the way, everybody, I blossomed out today that I should have shared a link to this, but in Retail Dive or Food Dive, there was a study run, and they found that people that use GLP-1 drugs, those households, they spend 6% less on food, in particular heavy processed foods like chips, cookies, baked goods, things like that. So just one more little bit of headwind. Okay, one of the directors from ADC bought. Nice to know. VTI, yeah, I agree with that, man. But that's the thing. Yes, it'll start selling off, and that's my tech exposure. I look at it because I'm not smart enough to understand tech, and I did not miss the boat, at least because I have mutual funds. But while I'm struggling to talk, but the thing is yeah, you got to realize if there's a big sell-off in tech, then that's going to get hit hard because all those dollars are going to come out. If the Mag 7, I think, is like 35% of, come on. Frog in the throat. I think Mag 7 is 35-ish% of the S&P 500. So that means 35 cents out of every dollar is going into those 7 companies. But if people start selling, then 35 cents of every dollar is going to come that much faster out of those. So those individual stocks are going to get harder to hit harder. But yeah, it is a tech fund. That's my tech exposure anyway. But I do like VTI because they have the small and mid cap exposure that SPY doesn't. And a lot of people think that mid cap and small cap is criminally undervalued right now. So that could be a small feather in the cap. But yeah, they're very similar and they move pretty close. But it's in March. Yeah, so dude, you'll be back if you're game. If you want to, we'll we'll do a nice big thumbnail. We'll call it the Constitution Extravaganza and blah blah whatever. It was fun last year. Will Cisco be booted? If it went up too high and the yield is too low, it would be. So, all right. So, interested in doing SCH with Stan and Ryan? Yeah, that's fun. If Ryan wants to jump on too, I would be more than happy. Andrew, what's up, man? I will say hello and goodbye, and just like the Truman Show, right? Like he said, in case I don't see you, have a good evening. I completely botched it. I almost had it. I almost had it. What Truman said at the end of the Truman Show, as I'm stalling, he said, "If I don't see you, have a good evening." Oh my God, good evening, good. Did he say good afternoon, good evening, and good night? Right? So I got to go back and somebody put it in. Somebody has to remember. Google it. Google it real quick. Tell me what he said. Come on. What did he say? Was it good afternoon, good evening, and good night? I feel like that's it. I didn't think it was good afternoon, but a trifecta spectacular. Dude, that's a tough word to say. Trifecta spectacular. Well, if nobody's going to put it, I'm not going to go away until let's see, Truman saying, we're going to get it right here just so I can do this properly. Oh, of course. Now it's giving me Harry S. Truman. Gotta be faster than that, buddy. Good afternoon. It was. Oh, I should have went with my gut. Always trust your gut, people. Always trust your gut. So now, just like Truman said, everybody, I love you. I thank you. And if I don't see you, have a good evening. Have a good afternoon, a good evening, and good night. We'll remember it the next time. So everybody, thank you. This is always fun. I love it. I love hanging out with you. And my guy Pee Wee's going to take us out. I will see you next week. Let's go.